enacted these policies and were all in on it for various ideological reasons. They put a moratorium on immigration, more or less. So that tells you a lot. How disastrous.
Well, we won't have to worry about that when it becomes a 51st state. Thank you, a double. Jewel.
Hey Gary, how you doing? I get a kick out of listening to people talk about deficits, leftist people talking about deficits. I mean, people on the right also are criminal when it comes to that, but the leftists, they make me laugh. I want to first answer your question and then tell you something about the Build Back Better, whatever. Big beautiful deal, okay? Well, I'm going to answer your question about the midterms will be
That's funny because really there used to be another BBB and it was Build Back Better, and so it's confusing to some. This really should be referred to not by the moniker that was plastered on it by the president, but as what it really is, and that's a massive spending bill. That's exactly what.
I'll tell you how to explain it soon. Getting to it. I'll just tell you why. Let me answer your question first, because I know you get so upset you probably won't sleep at night if I don't answer your question. But I think the midterms will be defined by inflation, unemployment, the value of the stock market, and crime and global wars. So I don't think this has really a lot to do with the midterms, okay? The people, the usual people will take credit. If they can, they'll take, I had nothing to do with it. If they can, it depends how the chips fall. Now I want to talk to you about, since you're my age, Gary, pay attention to this. Remember the no taxes on Social Security? Okay. Well, there is taxes on Social Security, but
there are not to be, by the way. But
right. Well, I'll call it. I might answer you now. The one big beautiful bullshit.
Right. As a matter of fact, I should get turn on my investment. I lent that money to the government, and then that money should be amortized. I should be taxed.
Let me tell you how bad this is. I read an article before which prompted me to talk to you. It doesn't take much to prompt me to talk to you. 88% of seniors won't pay taxes on Social Security. Now here's the bullshit. Now you gotta read through the article. What bullshit? Okay, the average Social Security benefit's $24,000 a year. All right, fine. Then they say 85% includes, 15% is not taxed, because I guess that's the amount you paid in. So in all cases, 85% is being taxed. So that's bullshit right there. You're not getting any benefit there. Then they talk about the standard deduction of $15,750, the basic standard deduction. Well, you could use that to offset. No. That offsets other income, not only Social Security income. So, money's fungible and deductions are fungible also. Okay, then they talk about, an extra $2,000 you got already built in of deductions, so if you're a senior. So, no, that goes against all income, not Social Security income. You still have that. Then they added $6,000 of the one beautiful big bill, whatever it's called, which is bullshit, all right? It's to seniors deduction. And again, they're not giving you anything. That goes against other income. So all these deductions go against your income. Not only Social Security income, but the article makes it sound like it's going only against your Social Security income. You can't shelter your other income because it's all used for this, which is bullshit. What a bullshit article. So that's about all I can say, except the tax rates, which both the Democrats and Republicans. By the way, did I make myself clear on the Social Security tax?
Well, I heard the words. I don't know whether it fully computed, but others it may.
Okay. Okay. The benefits they're giving you is really you could use for all income, so it doesn't only go to Social Security income, and it's leaving all income with no benefits. What I want to say, I forgot what I want to say. Where was I going? Well, maybe I should land my plane. I think I made my points here. So I don't like this. So this one big beautiful bill is not so beautiful. Oh, I was going to say something about Democrats, Republicans. All right, the one thing that had to be done, this bill has to be passed, or tax rates go up considerably. You know, if this bill isn't passed, and I don't know who will suffer for that also, Democrats or Republicans, because it's a joint operation here. And last but not least, I'll say the Democrats better stop people like Mondani for gaining office. You better stop it, or you're going to lose more than just a little midterm election, or you'll lose the country. Okay? When an anti-Semite, an accused anti-Semite, an accused Marxist, accused Jew hater, I said anti-Semite.
I wouldn't use the word accused personally, but it's nice of you to quantify.
No, I thought you'd make me. Fair enough.
But I don't know that the radical members of the Democratic Party are necessarily representative of the Democratic Party as a whole. But I know it'll be spun that way by the conservatives. Thank you, Jules.
Well, one last thing on that. Chuck Schumer hasn't said anything.
Chuck Schumer is a big disappointment, and that's another issue. But I'm not so sure. You know, when you look at the politics of the West Coast, the Democrats of the West Coast are lean in the same direction. Look at Oakland, California as example, right? Or Portland, or Seattle. So are you going to say, well, that's representative of the mainstream Democratic Party? I don't think so. It is representative of a faction of the Democratic Party. Now, in terms of how the Democrats might lose nationally because of the perception that that's representative of the Democratic Party, I know there's a big attempt by the Republicans to paint the people who rioted during the George Floyd demonstrations as representative of the Democratic Party. But it's not. They were not politicians out there pushing candidates or platforms. They were thugs taking advantage of legitimate demonstrations to do their thuggery. They were criminals. And they were able to hide behind the demonstrations that occurred. And there's no question that it happened, and there's no question that some of the response by some of the police agencies was less than stellar. So that proves that I saw on Fox yesterday a lower third that referred to communism on the Hudson. I'm not a fan of Mamdani. I consider him a clear and present danger to the Jewish community. But some of the arguments about him and trying to overlay them on the Democratic Party nationally is nothing but hyperbole and unfair. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm not saying this defensively. This is just my observation, which I'm sure Jules disagrees with. David and Ben gets the last word. David.
Yeah, Gary. Great room today. It's bill passage. We'll see what the GOP does to stop it up or run it to the finish line before July 4th. I'm sure Johnson's working overtime. But a lot of disheartening things in this bill, Gary, that I could pick apart. I think, obviously, for me, living in Los Angeles, the money that's going to be allocated to bolster this dragnet approach to rounding up immigrants, making making light of the fact that there'll be alligators to encircle the incarcerated is just a horrible, horrible message to be sending to the diversity of this country. I've heard it argued that the ICE detention centers hold up to 41,000 people, and we currently have 56,000 being housed in really untenable, horrific conditions. This Florida facility has the ability to rendition people in and out of the airport there in the darkness of night, and to be able to send people off to the various countries that are involved in our immigration policies.
And by the way, to your point, let me just interrupt for a second, if you don't mind, David. Do you know, I don't know the answer to this, and I probably should, and I apologize for having to ask it. Is this facility is it a government detention facility, or